We always hear about how Europe colonized half the world. But what if I told you there was a time when Africans were the ones expanding their power, ruling beyond their borders, and shaping history itself? This isn't the Africa of tragedy. This is the Africa of empire, dominance, and forgotten victories. Most people think Africa only got colonized, never the other way around. But stay till the end, because this story flips that idea upside down. And if you love uncovering the parts of history no one talks about, make sure to subscribe right now, because what you're about to hear will change how you see an entire continent. Long before Europe even existed as we know it, Egypt stood as Africa's first superpower. Pharaohs like Thutmose III led armies far beyond the Nile, expanding into Libya, Sudan, and even Syria and Palestine. Egypt didn't just defend itself, it ruled trade, gold, and culture across continents. It was an African empire that reached into Asia, shaping history thousands of years before colonial maps were ever drawn. But while Egypt expanded north, a kingdom to the south was waiting to rise: Nubia, and later, the kingdom of Kush. They didn't just rival Egypt, they conquered it. King Pi of Kush marched north and became pharaoh, uniting Egypt and Sudan under African rule. For nearly a century, the Black Pharaohs ruled the Nile, rebuilding temples, reviving art, and proving that power could flow from the south. History remembers them as the 25th dynasty, but few remember that it was an African empire ruling another. And while war shaped the Nile, gold shaped the West. The Mali Empire under Mansa Musa wasn't just rich, it was legendary. Mali stretched across the deserts of West Africa, controlling trade routes, salt mines, and entire cities. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca flooded the markets with so much gold that he broke economies just by being generous. This wasn't colonization through war. It was colonization through wealth, trade, and influence. Empires listened when Mali spoke. Meanwhile, on the opposite coast, the Indian Ocean shimmered with African sails. The Swahili Coast, home to powerful African traders, built cities, ships, and colonies that stretched from Kenya and Tanzania to Madagascar and Comoros. They sailed to Arabia, Persia, and even India, long before Europeans ever discovered those routes. Archaeologists have found Swahili coins in India, proof that Africans didn't just travel the seas, they mastered them. Before others explored, Africa connected worlds, but not every expansion was peaceful. In the south, a warrior rose, Shaka Zulu. His armies changed warfare forever. Through the Mfecane, the crushing, the Zulu expanded their power across huge regions, absorbing and displacing entire tribes. It was Africa's own age of military colonization. Shaka didn't need ships or guns. He built an empire through strategy, unity, and unbreakable will. From Egypt to Kush, from Mali to the Swahili Coast, from Zulu to every kingdom that rose in between, Africa wasn't just surviving history, it was writing it. Empires rose and fell, not because of Europe, but because Africa itself was a continent of conquerors, traders, builders, and dreamers. So the next time someone says Africa was only colonized, tell them the truth. Africa once colonized the world of gold, power, and legacy. It built civilizations that others would later try to imitate. And if you think that's powerful, wait until you see what humanity barely survived. Click on the next video. Scary historical events you're